Hi everyone, welcome to the bi-weekly PR review club. So, I'm Yuvik, and today we'll be reviewing the Bitcoin Core version 29.0, which has been released a week back, and we'll be seeing what all changes are there. Uh, basically, we'll just be seeing what all the CMake or basically the build system has been changed. That's the major one. But apart from that, we have few other changes as well. So we'll just review all of them. Okay, so yeah, let me open the release notes. Yeah, this is the release note for 29.0, and you can download 29.0 from the Bitcoin Core website, or else you can just build from the repo by just checking out the version v29.0 tag. Yeah. And yeah, in the release notes, it's already given what how you can upgrade and what all things you have to do. But we'll just see what all changes are there. So the first change, or basically the first part of change, is basically P2P and network changes. And if you see, the UPnP universal plug and play was dropped. The feature for UPnP was dropped, and why it has been dropped? It's like there was a vulnerability disclosure uh, on the Bitcoin core that there was some buffer overflow in the XML part of the UPnP, which caused the node to be eclipsed, or you can say to malfunction. Okay. So because of that, the default previously the UPnP was open or basically on by default, but now it has been changed to not default but optional thing. And in version 29.0, it has been removed. Like you won't be able to use UPnP, and instead of that, you can use net PNP PCP. PCP is the default one. UPnP has been replaced by PCP. And if PCP is not available in your router, then net PNP is the feature that has been opened for as a fallback option, you can say. Yeah, and most of the routers support PCP. If you use your home router, then that should definitely support PCP. If that router is very old, then it won't support PCP. Yeah, and that support was removed, and you won't be having some flag like UPnP. If you use that flag, then you will be having some warning message, and Bitcoin Core won't be opened, or Bitcoin D won't run. And instead of that, you have to use a NetBNP if PCP is not available in your router, and NetBNP could be used depending on the router support. Yeah. And previously, we had NetBNP dependency or library used from external sources. Now that has been replaced. Built-in implementation has been done in Bitcoin Core of PCP and NetBNP. Yeah, that reduces the dependencies to dependent to other external library. So yeah, that has been replaced. And apart from that, we have port configuration as well. Port, if you specify the port, basically, if you want that your Bitcoin D running Bitcoin D should listen to some different port apart from 8444, or like that's the default one. If you don't want 8334, if you don't want that port to be used and you want some other port, then you can specify with this port flag. And also the configuration has been changed. If previously, if you just use port flag, then uh, 8334 was for mainnet, 18334 was for signet, and 38334 was 18334 was testnet, and 38334 was for signet. And like what has been changed is that if you use again port flag for another Bitcoin deed that has been running in your system or local network, you can say, then the next port will be, if that port is not available, then port will be increased by one. Suppose 8334 is being used by one Bitcoin node, then the other Bitcoin D or the person running Bitcoin D again in the same local area network, then the port will be increased by one. It will be 8334. Yeah, that's the change. And yeah, that's the change. And yeah, the orphan transactions uh, like function has also been changed. Like when orphan transaction has been received, then the node will attempt to download all the missing parents of the orphan transaction. And this change will or may, I feel like it will definitely increase the bandwidth usage because you'll be downloading more transactions, parent transactions. And yeah, coming to the next, that is mempool policy and mining changes. And ephemeral dust is a new concept that will allow single dust output in a transactions. If you have a dust transaction, then it can be spent if like uh, if the transaction is 0 fee transactions, you can spend that dust transactions. And that was a new concept that has been introduced. Uh, Basically, the transaction will be in a transaction package. Uh, if you see package relay is like uh, a new feature, or you can say a new change that Bitcoin Core contributor has been working on, that is Gloria. She is very much famous. And in that package relay, we will be having a transaction package which can be transactions with 0 fee. There you can spend your transactions. And yeah, that was the new concept that has been introduced. And the next thing was bug, which was in the uh, block weight. So if you see the block weight for the Bitcoin uh, is currently basically 4 million WU, and WU is basically Bitcoin weight unit. And if you see with this 4 million WU, that will be around 1 MB. Yeah. And 4,000 WU from the 4 million WU, 4,000 is kept for the size of block header transactions count and Coinbase transaction. And the bug was basically this 4,000 WU was reserved twice. So basically, uh, instead of 4,000 WU, it was reserved 8,000 WU, and that was the bug. And what happens was, even if you specify the flag max block max weight, then it won't be more than this much. That is 392, because 8,000 has been reserved for this size of the transactions count point is and block return. So that was the bug, and this has been fixed in the PR 31384. I guess this was yeah. Yeah, this was the PR, and see, yeah, in this PR, it has been fixed, and I think this was the field, and yeah, this was the PR, that is 31384. You can view that. I think we have also done this in our previous PR review club. I mean, UPnP was done in the previous PR review club. You can watch that, and there it has been detailed why UPnP was removed, or why UPnP support was removed. You can watch that. And let's see new RPCs that has been updated. The first RPC is test mempool accept. Now the test mempool accept also includes a more verbose field that is reject details, why the transactions that has been created or like created by the wallet or by yourself, why it was rejected. You will get something like the fee is lower than the like a minimum fee rate. Yeah, that kind of stuff you will receive. And I've also made some notes. Yeah, this was the notes like when I was testing the release candidate for version 29.0, I took down all the things that I have seen during testing. Uh, so yeah, when I was running, like I checked out to version 29.0 RG2 as release candidate on the second part, and I built. And when I was running Bitcoin DO with NetPNP, I'm not using PCP, I'm using NetPNP, and it was successful on the router. But when a UPnP was used, it was giving some warning message like this. You will also get warning message if you use UPnP's uh, flag. You also get this kind of warning message. And yeah, and while using PCP, because I was just checking if my router supported PCP. I knew that my router didn't support PCP, but I was just testing out, and it was giving this error. Yeah, you will see that we're trying again in 1 to 20, 30 seconds. It's something like that. If if your router had supported PCP, then you will be getting something like this, like port mapping, and then uh, received response, and then a supported version, supported PCP version, and yeah, something like this you'll get. And when testing this test mempoolaccept RPC, you will be getting this mm, getting this extra field. Yeah, you'll be getting something like this, and in this field, you can see there is insufficient fee and rejecting replacement. There was a transaction which has been replaced by this transaction, and yeah, that was the main idea why it was rejected. It contained insufficient fee, and there is also a release candidate testing guide, and you can use this. Uh, I have given this in the announcement issue. Yeah, you can find it here. Release notes, inside release notes will definitely find. And you can view this and you can definitely check with this testing guide whether Bitcoin Core is running great in your machine or not. But do check this like our router thing, like UPnP was the support for UPnP has been removed, and PCP and NetPNP has been introduced. So I would suggest to check this because uh, we don't have exact number that all routers support PCP or NetPNP or not. So if you test with this, then we'll definitely know. Like if you get something like not PCP and NetPNP both are not supported, then you can definitely report that or create an issue in Bitcoin Core that my router doesn't support PCP and NetBNP, and you just give your router model ID, all the details. Yeah, and this testing guide is very much brief. You can watch and you can just review this, and you can just test in your own system as well. So yeah, we saw this test method except RPC. The next is submit block. Like we can just see whether that submit block RPC. Uh, okay, so if duplicate blocks has been submitted, then their block data will be persisted. I mean, if the data was previously pruned, then it will be pruned again. Eventually, block file is that block will be pruned again. If that block was previously pruned, then this will again be pruned by your node if your node is in prune mode. And get mining info RPC will have n bits field as well in the RPC output and the current target as well. And the next is get block and like get block header will now return the current target in the target field. And get blockchain info and get chain states also return n bits and the current target in the target field. And we also have change in get block template RPC, which contains per time and minimum time, which accounts for the time warp fixed in the IP94. And and there is new RPC that has been introduced, that is get descriptor activity, and it can be used to find all the activity of that descriptor, all the spend and receive activity of that descriptor within a specified block, I guess. Yeah, blocks. Yeah, you can all this can also be used with scan blocks. And REST APIs has been updated, and previously it was get slash rest block has dot JSON. Now it has replaced with get rest headers and block has dot JSON, and it also returns the target field. Yeah, apart from this, we also have updated settings such as DB cache, which can be used for the maximum allowed value for the cache to be stored. And what else? Yeah, we'll just go with the build system. That's the major thing that has been introduced in version 29.0. And previously we had Autotools, and why the build system of Bitcoin Core has been migrated from Autotools to CMake is because Autotools was very much difficult for handling and managing in Bitcoin Core. And if you see, the Autotools is not currently being maintained. I mean, only one or two folks are there or developers are there who is currently maintaining Autotools. And CMake is kind of very much better and new or replacement to Autotools. And and it's currently being maintained by a lot of developers. And if you see, the minimum CMake version should be 3.22, and you can check that with CMake mine is 3.26. Yours one should be more than 3.22. And and in source build are not allowed. That is also one of the change. Previously we had if you build Bitcoin Core from the source or basically from the repo by cloning it, then when you are building with Autotools, you will be having in source build like Bitcoin. For example, if I'm building Bitcoin, suppose chain parents .cpp, then the output or the compiled file will also be there. But now it won't be here. It will be inside the build folder, something like this. Then you will be having some all the build compiled files. Will be having that. Will be having here. That's also one of the change. And yeah, the variables or previously with Autotools, you have to specify some flags and lots of developers or folks has been used to with that. And with CMake, you can't use that. You have to use something different flag or clang based flag, you can say. There is also a page where you can see how to like a table with comparing the Autotools feature and CMake feature. Previously, if you had prefix flag, then you have to use prefix like this with CMake, and the default value will be something on off. For if you want disable wallet, previously with Autotools you have to use -1 disable wallet, but now you have to use something like this minus D enable wallet. And if you don't want wallet to be compiled, then you can just use off here. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, that's the, you can also see here is the given Autotools to same options mapping. And the build system is currently maintained, or you can say the one who has worked on is Heba Stoke. I don't know his full name, but he's the one who introduced CMake in the Bitcoin pool. And yeah, CMake is correct. It's working great. I mean, I really like it. And yeah, the build executables are located in bin and lib subdirectories of the build directory. Okay. Yeah, this is the lib and this is the bin directory. You'll be having all your compiled uh, executables or libraries. And with CMake, you can also use flags, CFL flags, CPP flags, CXS flags, uh, and LDF flags, environment variables uh, that were used in Autotools build process. You can also use that in with CMake. But CMake, there's something different, slightly different. That is appends CPP flags like that. And yeah, that was the major change. CMake was the major change. And to build CMake, it's very much easy. And you can just type CMake -b, specify your build directory, just use build, that's the default one. But if you want to see what all flags or configure option has been set, you can use -lh. This will basically help you in seeing all the flags available with your current repo Bitcoin code. And also you will see the summary of your current CMake configure that has been set. Okay, I have set Bitcoin node as off, Bitcoin QT as off, GUI as off, CLI, TX, and util wallet, and all this is on. Okay, the Bitcoin kernel is also on. I don't know why. And also apart from that, you can also see all the options available. You can use this. Just use -d and you can use all of this. Keep that in mind. You have to use -d. So if you want to enable wallet, yeah, you can use this and you see Bitcoin wallet is on. So you can use that and see then the build directory has been created. Yeah, here's the build directory. And when you run with this, you can just use this as the command for compiling Bitcoin code. But make sure this is the build directory. You have to specify this build directory, and this is the flag for telling to CMake that this is the build directory. And yeah, that's the. And you can also use this multi-process if your system supports. If your system has more than one core, then you can specify multiple cores to build, compile your Bitcoin library. If you use minus J6, then it would use 6 cores to build Bitcoin code. This will be much faster. If you don't specify the multi-core, then it will be very much slow. I won't recommend. And with how you can see all your cores with this command in Linux, but in Mac it's something like extra I actually forgot. With nproc it works on Mac OS as well. 8 is the cores of my system. You can have 16, 20. If your system has more than 16, 20, then you can specify 16 as well. And low level changes and a new tool that is UTXO to SQLite uh, is a Python tool that helps in converting complex serialized UTXO snapshot to SQLite 3 database. And test, if you see, then PIP94 time warp attack mitigation um, is no longer available in rect test network. And why it's not? Because it's specifically designed for testnet. And yeah, dependency mini UPnPC library and lib net PNP library has been removed as dependency, and lib net PNP library has been introduced or basically built in Bitcoin Core. And then yeah, this is actually people who actually contributed to this release. Yeah, this was it. And do test out the new version 29.0 Bitcoin Core, and I think you should, if anyone is using 28 or less than 29, then they should definitely update to 29. If you are actually building from source, then you should definitely, because CMake is the thing that has been the major one. And apart from that, there is not a significant change in 28 and 29, 28.1 and 29. 28 had significant change, but 29 didn't have like the major one, only the except the build system. Yeah, and if we go through the question, uh, why was the build system migrated from Autotools to CMake? Because it was very much difficult for maintaining the Autotools build system, and there were not good amount of developers for maintaining Autotools library. And for that, in that case, we actually migrated to CMake and modern as well. And yeah, that was the main idea behind that. And why was the support for UPnP was stopped? Because UPnP had some vulnerability which led to the crash of Bitcoin Core, and that was the main reason for sup- dropping the support for UPnP. And also we had to depend on the external lib UPnPC library for the UPnP part, and we actually also remove the dependency to other external library with dropping UPnP and introducing netpnp and PCP. And the next is what's the extra field uh, that has been introduced in testmempool basically, that is reject details. Like if your transaction has been rejected, if your transaction has been accepted, then it won't show the reject details. But if it's not accepted, then it will definitely show more verbose details, that is reject details, which contains whether the transaction has like a lower fee or something like that. Yeah, that was the main idea. Main changes in Bitcoin Core.